His hand had barely slipped from my leg when the space beside me turned unbearably empty. The worn leather couch creaked softly as it cooled beneath my weight, as if reminding me he had just been there. I could still sense the echo of his warmth, the tight restraint in his posture, the heavy silence stitched into every breath we hadn't spoken. I drew my knees inward, not in shame, but to steady the surge of feeling that hadn't yet settled. Everything had shifted too quickly. There was no clean ending to the moment, only a pause that left my chest aching. I had married young, built a life that was dependable, measured, safe. I raised a daughter who became the center of my world. My days moved to predictable rhythms: coffee at dawn, dinner at dusk, the quiet hum of appliances guiding me through the dark. Love for me was a familiar light in a room I knew well. Nothing reckless, nothing surprising. Until that Thursday morning. The kitchen carried the scent of toasted bread and fresh coffee. Lemon soap lingered faintly in the air. I stood barefoot on the cool tile, cutting strawberries for pancakes, an indulgence I rarely allowed myself on ordinary mornings. A soft song from the 70s floated from the radio, blurring the line between memory and now. The back door opened with a careful click. Footsteps followed. Evan stood there, my daughter's friend, 30, thoughtful, newly untethered after a job loss and a breakup that had hollowed him out. He carried his grief quietly, like something too heavy for words. I had tried to offer comfort in small, steady ways: warm meals, quiet company, a place where nothing was demanded. He accepted it politely. Yet he always seemed just beyond reach. "Morning," I said. "Coffee's still hot." He didn't reach for the mug. He only watched me. His eyes were tired, but clear in a way that made my hands still. "Claire," he said softly. "Can I tell you something?" I turned toward him fully. He stood on the other side of the island, close enough that the air between us felt charged. "I had a dream last night," he said. "You were in it. We talked about things I've never said out loud, about feeling unseen, even when people are right beside me." I stayed silent, letting his words find their shape. "When I woke up," he continued, "I realized how much I've locked inside. How alone I've felt, even here. Even when you were trying to help." His honesty struck harder than accusation ever could. I gripped the counter without realizing it. "I'm not blaming you," he said quickly. "I just needed to be real with someone." "What are you trying to tell me?" I asked. "I've always thought of you as steady," he said. "But I never stopped to think about who you are when no one is leaning on you. After this last year, after everything fell apart, I started seeing you differently, clearly, not strangely." I folded my arms, not to shield myself, but because I felt exposed. "Why now?" I asked. "Because I'm tired of running from myself," he said. "And when I came here, you didn't ask for anything. You were just present. It made me wonder who you were beneath all of that." "That's a heavy question to place on me," I said. He gave a quiet, rueful smile. "I'm not asking for answers. I just want to know you, what you loved, what you lost, what you still want." No one had asked me that in decades. My gaze drifted to the oak tree outside, the one my daughter used to climb. Scarred by storms, bent by time, yet still standing. "I used to paint," I said quietly. "I once dreamed of studying in Florence. Then life took over. Work, marriage, a child who needed everything. And somewhere along the way, I stopped imagining anything for myself." He stepped closer, the island no longer a barrier. "You could still go," he said. "You still exist. You're still you." A tremor passed through me. "I'm afraid," I whispered. "I don't know if I'd even recognize who I used to be." "Then start with one thing," he said gently. "Just one." I met his eyes. Not a boy seeking rescue, not a guest in my home, but a person offering space. "I used to love watching the rain," I said. "Just sitting, listening." His expression softened. "Then let's do that. Today, not as homeowner and guest. As two people." The rain arrived that afternoon, slow and steady. I made chamomile for myself, strong sweet tea for him. We sat in the den, the room I had nearly abandoned, where old sketchbooks and dried paint once waited in quiet exile. "This room feels like you," he said. It used to be, I answered. Why did you stop painting? I hesitated. At first I told myself it didn't matter. Then one day I realized years had passed since I'd held a brush. After a long silence, he asked, "Would you paint again?" "I'm scared," I confessed. "What if I don't like what I find?" He rested his hand over mine, steady, careful. "I think she's still there," he said, waiting. Something gentle broke open in my chest. "I found one of your sketchbooks in the garage," he added. Didn't open it, just held it. It felt personal. I laughed softly. "Some of those are terrible." "Even so," he said, "they're yours." He handed me one from the shelf, its edges nearly frayed. "You don't have to open it today." Just someday. It took me 3 days. A quiet Sunday morning. Sun warming the curtains, my robe loose at my waist. I finally opened it. Faces, trees. A cafe from a trip I barely remembered. None of it perfect, all of it alive. I felt my younger self breathing between every line, and I cried, not from sorrow, but from recognition. Later, I found Evan on the porch. "I opened it," I said. He didn't ask how it felt. He just smiled in a way that gave me room to breathe. We sat in silence, wind moving gently around us. The dog curled at our feet. It felt honest. "Simple. It's easy to disappear," I said finally, "to let yourself fade." "You didn't disappear," he replied. "You were just buried for a while." I looked at him. Not as someone passing through my life, but as someone who had quietly handed me back to myself. "Thank you," I whispered. "You've given everyone else so much," he said. "I just reminded you you're still here." That week, I unearthed my old paints. Most were beyond saving. I ordered new ones, cleared a corner of the den, began with an apple, too dark, uneven, imperfect, but mine. The next morning, Evan paused in the doorway when he saw the paint on my fingers.